Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I am Abe with mysticgenmara.com, and today I would like to do the tarot and oracle card reading for the month of December for the elemental signs of fire. So those apply to the Aries sign, the Leo, and the Sagittarius. Or if you've ever had your charts done, there's a section on there that talks about your elemental alignment. And if the fire sign or fire energy is high, then this reading is for you. These readings are for a large group of people, so take the messages that vibrate with you, and the ones that do not resonate, you can ignore those. Those are for someone else. The way I like to do my readings for the moment, and that may be shifting in January, just so you know, is I go through each week of the month. There are 4.5 weeks in December. We'll go with 5. And for each week, I pull a card for a guide or guardian for you, a message from source, and these are positive reinforced messages, and then a lesson or a challenge that you can work on for that week. And I usually pull those from the tarot because they are a little bit more broad ranging on what they can work with. If you're curious as to which decks I am using, they are all linked in the description below. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and drop those down below, and I do check those frequently. So with that, we'll get started with the reading, and I read intuitively and I draw the cards as we go. So the messages that you may receive may not be the dictionary definition of that card, but it's what the message that's coming through to me is. So your guide for the first week of December fire signs is the Earth and Air Dragon, representing a perfect balance of heaven and earth. Staying balanced, ground your visions and manifest your hopes and dreams. There we go. And so what is really coming forward for this first week is the guide that's coming up is going to help you find balance. If you've been struggling with either working too much or not working enough, or not spending time with family or spending too much time with your friends, or however it works, this card is coming forward with the Earth and Air Dragon to say, you know what, let's find some balance here. We have this work-life balance that we need to find, the home-friends balance. There's all these different balances that have to come into play, and this dragon is coming forward saying, let me help you work with this, and we will find a way to find balance. And as a fire sign, your energy tends to be very, very up and very aggressive and very flashy, but you have the grounding earth with the complementary air that are going to help you bring that energy down into a manageable state so that you're not bouncing around everywhere, but you're going to be able to help find a more stable environment for that. So your message from source, and I love the art on this deck of cards, is Archangel Raphael, provider of healing for mind, body, and spirit. So the message from source is reinforcing the Earth and Air Dragons information, saying you can run and run and run and just keep going, but to really find healing, you have to tap into the balancing part of who you are. The Archangel Raphael is the angel of the East, so it's air technically, but he's also a divine healer. And what that means is Archangel Raphael can help with any form of physical malady, but also works with the intellect and the mind, being from the air element. And what this card is really saying is when you find your balance, you find healing. When any system in your body is out of balance, that's where the illness will develop. And what this card is saying is get ahead of the imbalances in your life and let the angel Raphael work with the air and fire earth dragon to bring in that energy to find the balance and find that healing that's coming forward. And it's very simple to work with either one of these dragons, or the archangel is simply say their name. Can you come help me? I'm trying to understand the balance here. How can I find it in a better way? And the angels and the dragons will be there immediately to help with that. Even if you don't see or sense them, know that they are there because that's what they do. So let's look at the challenge or lesson for this first week. And this is not a negative, it's something that you can work on or work towards or work through, but it's kind of a way of, you have the healing message coming in, this is a place where you can direct that healing. And it's coming in with the 6 of Wands, so this applies to you fire signs. And like I said, I read intuitively, so it may not be exactly what the card definition is. But what's coming in is this is a time where you're in balance. You're feeling this peaceful state, but you've had to work a little bit at it. You've had to say no to some things. You've had to say yes to things. But it's finding that peaceful balance. And when you're in balance, you develop that peace. I mean, when you look at her, if I can get it out of the light, her face, she feels at peace. She knows where she's at and she knows who she is. And so this time of this first week is really about understanding who you are and where you are in life, and understanding that that balance may not look the same to everybody, but when you find it, you find contentment and you find peace. So let's move on to the second week for fire signs in December of 2022, the last month of 2022. And the card is the Omega Dragon. Interesting, considering it's the end of the year. Harness the divine feminine power of creation, intention, holding your vision, birth the higher consciousness. So the Omega Dragon, if we're going by the Greek lettering, would be the last dragon in this deck. This dragon is really about tapping into that gentle femininity. Whether you're a man or a woman doesn't matter. We all carry both energies in different forms in our body. And what this card is saying is tapping into that divine feminine, your intuitive state. Allow your intentions to finalize. Allow the stuff that you've been working on, the visions that you've had, the vision board that you may have set up if you do that kind of work, to come into fruition in this last month. You've been putting a lot of effort in intuitively, and this card is saying, and this dragon is coming forward to help you let it go and let it manifest. You can put so much work into something, and because you're still working on it, you're actually blocking its flow. And what this card is saying is it's time to step out of the way and just let it manifest. It's time to end this cycle and allow the new one to begin. And this dragon, the Omega Dragon, is coming forward to say it's time to put mark finished on this cycle and let the next one start. So your message from Source is celebration, let go and have fun. So this second week is really about celebrating what you've accomplished and celebrating the things that are coming. The Omega Dragon is coming in saying, look, it's time to let this stuff go, let it fully manifest, then celebrate it. This card comes up as celebration. It's all about enjoying what you've created, enjoying how far you've come, thanking the divine source God energy for the blessings that you received. Thank your coworkers that have helped you along the way, even the ones that might have been a headache. Thank them too, even if it's only on an energy state. But really celebrate where you're at in life, how far you've come, and celebrate how far you can go. Because just you've come this far, and this card is saying, celebrate where you're at. Look at how awesome it is that you've come this far, but also celebrate how far you can go. Really, the limit on how far you can go is within your own mind. And so if you celebrate, look at where I'm at, this is awesome, but you also celebrate, look at how far I can go, that is so cool, look at the doors that are open to me, you actually break through a lot of the mental blocks that you may be feeling. So let's look at, my guides are really active today. Let's look at your challenge or lesson from the tarot. And it is, apparently it's all about you this month so far. It is the Eight of Wands. And this is really the 8 is a number of eternity. So it's basically, what is it you're looking at now? You've come this far, you've cleaned out a bunch of stuff, and you're setting yourself up for success because you're bringing certain things to a close, being able to open to new possibilities. And this card is saying, why worry about things that have happened in the past? You're going to have new things to worry about. Don't focus on that. But what is it that you're wanting to create? You're bringing things to an end. You're celebrating basically the end of a cycle, and now it's time to reset. What is it you're wanting to put forward? What is it that you're trying to project into the future? And this is a time to start looking at that. Not so much finalize anything, but start the process of your new vision board, your New Year's intentions, and start looking at the things that you've completed and what is it you want to create, because it's an eternal cycle, that symbol of the 8, just constantly ups and downs. And right now you're at the crossroads. You've completed a bunch, now it's time to start something new. And this card is really saying, Start looking at what it is next that you want to create. Celebrate and enjoy the things that you've already accomplished, but look to the future as to what you're going to create in the future. So let's look at the third week of December. And it is the Aquamarine Dragon from Neptune. Enable you to access your deepest soul wisdom. Spirituality and wisdom are available to you. Develop your psychic abilities and receive ineffable soul knowledge. So the Aquamarine Dragon from Neptune is actually kind of the opposite of your energy. You as a fire sign are going to be more Mars, more vibrant, more aggressive, more pushing forward. But the Aquamarine Dragon is coming in to say, that's awesome, that's cool, but you also need to deepen your knowledge of who you are. Deepen your access to your emotions. Really connect into your spirituality. Aquamarine is a very powerful stone, working with your spiritual development, working with your spiritual mind, and with that, you start to access that spiritual wisdom. Fire signs are very passionate about what they do, but they're very flashy and they're very overbearing in a lot of ways, not always, but fire tends to be that way. And what this card is saying is temper that with a little bit of cooling energy from the water and from Neptune, and really tap into that soul knowledge and work with your intuition. So working with that Aquamarine Dragon can help you really lock in your intuitive states and help you listen to that still small voice that we all have. It's just some of us tend to ignore it, or choose not to listen to it is a better term. But this dragon can help bring that still small voice into, like, turn the volume up a little bit. So your message from Source is to go with the flow and let things happen. So you've got the Aquamarine Dragon, which is a water dragon from Neptune, saying cooler down, go with the flow, work with what you've got, but deepen your knowledge of it. And the message from Source is actually enhancing that. Go with the flow and work with allowing things to happen. The first part of this month has all been about celebrating how far you've come, rejoicing in the things that you've accomplished, but also working to create what's next. What is it that you've done? What is it you're trying to build? And go with the flow is saying, don't force things. Let them happen. You've put the intentions out. You've set the plans forward. You've taken the next steps. And now it's time to let the universe match that energy by going with the flow of what you've been building. So don't stop moving, because that's going to stop the flow. But you've got momentum rolling with you, and it's time just to ride that wave, basically. So your lesson or challenge from the tarot is the Strength card. Now this is the 11 card. It's a life lesson. So your major arcana cards, there we go, are really our focuses. These are big things in life that happen. And what this is saying is your strength lays not in what you can force and what you can do and what you can overpower. Because in this image, he's overpowering the centaur. He's showing brute strength. But there's also, because this is a lesson or challenge card, is saying there's more than one way to take that person down. And maybe the way you've always done it, through force and through pushiness and through domineering, is not always the best. So the card that's coming up for strength is saying it's time to bring some of that down and look at other ways that you can show your strength, your emotional, your mental strength, in conquering the stuff that's coming forward. And it's not saying that what you're doing is the wrong way or the bad way, because it's worked before. What this card is saying is there's more than one way to show your strength. And sometimes having that emotional strength going with the physical strength actually is a way to really step into a different realm and a different level of that power. So let's look at the fourth week. Well, that card just jumped right out. For December, and that is the Blue Dragon from the Pleiades. Prepare to accept source healing, accept a heart activation, give and receive heart healings. So this dragon is from the stars, so this is a stellar dragon, and this dragon is coming in to say, you've done this work, you've celebrated where you've come from, you've worked through things, you're resetting and you're setting up the next level of intentions, and you're learning to go with the flow. This dragon is coming in, now it's time to work with your heart. Let's work with your heart, let's activate your heart to a fuller extent. The Blue Dragon from the Pleiades is really about accessing source, God, divine energy, and understanding your place in the universe with it. This dragon, I mean, it's a pretty fantastic card. I do say the art was, they did a good job. This dragon comes forward to bring the energy of God, Source, Divine Energy to you and help you understand your connection to Source is your connection to other people. And when you spread that love and you open your heart, you actually lift the vibration of the people closest to you, and as they lift and you lift, it actually will vibrate out. It's like a pebble in a pond. The wave never stops, but it has to start somewhere. And this is your indication in this 4th week to be that pebble in the pond, to be the one who starts the vibrational uptick of your circle. So let's look at the message from Source. Apparently it's going to be a good one. The deck's not giving up the answers. There we go. And it is enlightenment. Pursue spiritual growth. So your guide this week is the Blue Dragon from the Pleiades, helping you to understand your heart and growth and your connection to Source. Your message from Source, God, Divine Energy, is saying you're working with your heart, you're activating, and you're trying to, step into the next level of who you are. And what you're doing is you're actually stepping out of the mundane into the spiritual. You're stepping out of the work, I'm focused only on the worldly things, but you're starting to access that higher frequency into the more spiritual realms. And to do that is an act of enlightenment. You're enlightening yourself. You're bringing light into your being. You're connecting higher into your soul's journey and path. And what this card is really saying is this is where you're supposed to be. Your message from Source is really about you're starting to understand. You're understanding your place. Now let's grow. Let's build. Allow that light to shine out, to radiate to other beings and help them heal as well and help them grow. And when I say heal, it's not just about physical healing. Sometimes it's the emotional and the mental healing that is almost more important than the physical. So let's look at your challenge or lesson for this 4th week. And it is the King of Swords. So this is an air sign or an air card. And the King of Swords is really stepping forward to say you've come to an intellectual end of the current cycle. This is a way to say that you've conquered the things in your life and it's time to move forward. This card is an ending card, so it's really about understanding what you have learned, and you've learned a point. You've come to an end of a period of learning, and now it's time to evaluate where you've come from. And again, you're at the top, so you now have to reset. What is coming up next? You've completed an entire seasonal cycle. You're done with the year. What is it you want to build next? Look at how far you've come. Look at the things you may have to deepen a little bit. What parts of the knowledge in your life have you completed in the last year, and what have you skipped? What is it you kind of glossed over, like, oh no, I'll get to that later? The time is now to reset and add that in so that you'll do it this next cycle. And again, these are lessons and challenges, so it's things that may not want to look at, but it's stuff that needs, your spirit is saying it's time to look at it. So let's look at the 5th and last week for this for fire signs. Sorry, it is the Emerald Dragon, bringing in healing and cosmic abundance. Good fortune is coming. Let your thoughts support your divine perfection. Align with your 5th dimensional blueprint. So this card is really about tapping into this new beginning, this new birthing process. Through this entire month is all about celebrating where you've come, starting to look at what you need to balance, where do you want to go, and what have you learned, and really activating a spiritual side of who you are. Even if you're already spiritual, it's time to deepen that connection. And the Emerald Dragon is saying there is cosmic energy abounding. The 5th dimensional energy that is shifting our planet and shifting ourselves is really going to become important to you in this month. And this last week, it's really about healing and releasing the past year, because we're moving into a new year in January. We're moving into a higher frequency within ourselves, within our species. Even when the world looks like chaos is reigning, what this dragon is coming forward to say is it's happening because growth can be painful. There's always that uncomfortable period when you were growing up, when your bones were growing and your muscles were shifting and you just were miserable all night long and nothing satisfied that making it stop. And this dragon is saying that's part of the growth process. And this, you've come a long way this year, whether you changed jobs or not, whether you did a new class or not, whatever it was, you have grown this year. Just as beings on this planet, we can't be stagnant and not grow. Change occurs. And this card is really talking about you've done all of this. Now it's time to reset. Take the break. Look at what you want to create. The Emerald Dragon is here to help you focus on this new year and help you focus on what you want to bring forward in this next year. So let's look at the message from Source. And it is dreams. Time to believe in your dreams. So your Emerald Dragon is coming forward to say, let's heal, let's bring in this cosmic energy, and let's build that light and really start to spread it outwards. And the message from Source is follow your dreams. Even if it's only taking up a side job, if it's a side project, if it's an art that you just wanted to do for something fun, but it's something you've always wanted to do, play the guitar, learn how to play the violin, something like that. Take up the time to follow your dreams. Your dreams are there for lessons of things for you to enjoy and things to help you learn about yourself. And if you don't listen to and follow your heart, following your dreams, you'll always be left wanting. Well, you can want and want and want, but you're always going to feel that emptiness inside. And this card is saying, try to fulfill that. Try to reach out for those dreams. Not so much that it hurts you, but things like if you wanted to learn new, they're really emphasizing the musical instruments right now. But if you wanted to learn the guitar, the violin, the flute, something like that, find someone where you can take a course in person, preferably, so that you can actually talk and hear and your teacher can work with you. But really follow those dreams of your heart for this last week and start looking at how you can fulfill maybe those dreams. So let's look at the challenge or lesson for this 5th week. About dropped the deck. And this deck is one of my favorites, one of my older decks, and it's always had really good information when it decides to become talkative. It is the 9 of Wands, so we're back to your energy. The 9 of Wands is a 3 sets of 3, so this is a perfected number. And this card is saying you've done the work, you put in the effort, things are manifesting, things are coming into fruition, and the 3 threes is really about being stable. You've come this far, it's time to grow. You're amplifying what you've already accomplished into the next year. And when you have the 9 of Wands, it's really talking about that support system that you may be ignoring or choosing not to enforce. And this card is saying use the support system. If it is family, if it's friends, work with those people because they can help you build on that structure and you can build on what you've already accomplished to develop even greater heights. And when you do that, you'll actually help them along as well, because as you succeed, they succeed. So I hope that these messages resonated for you, our dear fire signs, for the month of December for 2022. If you like this video, drop a like, please. And if you have any questions or comments, you can drop those below as well. If you are enjoying this type of content, go ahead and subscribe. I really do appreciate that. And then as a looking forward, the end of December, I will be doing individual readings for the elements as well for the upcoming year. These videos might be a little bit longer. I may choose to live stream them. It just depends on how everything rolls. But keep your eye out for that if you would like, and I will see you guys in the next video.